What's up, folks? I'm Dwayne.
I'm Alicia.
And this is Blackboard Gaming, where we teach you about all these great board games that are out there,
waiting to be played by you and yours.
I'm a simple man, don't wanna complicate you.
Hey everybody! Today, we're going to talk about an aspect of board games that really helps elevate our enjoyment of the game that we're playing.
Today, we're going to talk about our favorite board game components.
Specifically, our favorite board game components of 2024.
Now, the reason we love board game components so much is because they show the passion and detail that the designer put into the game, and they help elevate your immersiveness in the game.
And sometimes that board game component can help you with a mechanic.
Yes.
You know, I really enjoy specific board game components. It really adds to the aesthetic of the game. You know, now don't get me wrong, art is one thing, but just those specific components just shows the passion and of the publisher. Sometimes the publisher decides, hey, let's do this board game component.
Okay.
So I really enjoy, you know, specific board game components.
Okay.
Now, I know this is a little late in the year. We're in March now, but this is a video I've been wanting to do. So I asked Alicia, and she was like, hey, I'm on board.
He likes that pun, y'all.
Yeah. So, without wasting any time, we're going to get right to it. Now, we both have 5, and there's going to be some crossover because we know what each other's list is. So, without wasting any time, ladies first.
All right. So, my first component is from the game Middle Ages, and I really like the horse and rider in that game. I don't know. Like, I love the period dress. I love the different colors. And I just think that person on those lords, I believe, on their horses, I just think it adds a little dignity and authority to their position in the fiefdom. And I just like it.
Oh, okay. So, Middle Ages is a game where you're building up your fiefdom. And you're drafting these tiles to create your different areas in your fiefdom. You got
districts,
your villages,
yes.
You got your forts, you got your barracks, you got your churches, you got your markets and stuff like that. And so you got your little scout, I think it's a scout, that you send out to draft that tile. Mm-hmm. And then when you get that tile, you add it to your fiefdom, and you gain coins. The different tile that you draft will give you coins, because coins is the victory points. And pretty much at the end of the game, whoever has the most coins is the richest person in the world, and they win. Now, I almost chose this, but not because of the scouts.
Well, what do you like?
I like the tiles.
You know what? I like the tiles too. And one reason I like the tiles is because they look like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. Yeah. I love jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah, I like the tile because when you draft the village tile, the village puzzle piece cannot fit on any other place in your fiefdom. It has to interlock on where you're stacking your villages with the barracks and the church.
Yes.
And those scouts, they're screen printed. You know, they are like big, nice wooden, chunky pieces.
Yes.
And you're drafting your tiles kind of like what's the game you really love, Floriferous?
Yes.
Because when you draft a tile from that row, it also dictates your turn order in the next round.
Yes.
You know, so
yes.
I thought about this. This was on the short list.
Okay.
But I really thought about it. But I would have went for the puzzle pieces.
Okay.
Okay. So, my number 5 is a game that I just got finished playing. I had to play it again. I finally played the solo mode. And I'm talking about the little satellites in SETI. Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. I love those little, I think they're like wood pressed or whatever. And I love those little satellites. And in SETI, you're doing just that. You're looking for alien life.
There's life out there.
And you're sending probes out into space. You're moving around the solar system. Also, you can place, once you reach a certain planet, then you could turn that probe into a satellite around that planet, and you're gaining points. And if you land, you can also turn it into a Land Rover and land on that specific planet, and then you find traces of life.
Okay.
There are 3 traces of life in this game. There's red, which you gain by scanning the stars.
Okay.
There's yellow by putting turning your satellites into Range Rovers and going on the planet. And then there's blue, which there's these data tokens that you get from scanning the stars. Then you put them in your computer.
Okay.
And then if you get them enough of them, then you activate your computer and you end up getting finding traces of blue life.
Okay.
And so in the game, you're randomly going to pick 2 out of 5 aliens that come in the game. And you're going to put them face down. And you have to find a red life trace, yellow life trace, and a blue life trace. And then if you guys, the players, find that, then that alien becomes available. And they will offer you different ways to score points, other ways to gain some resources or whatever. And I mean, I really, really like this game. Now I got 2 plays under my belt, and I'm planning on teaching it to my Friday night board game group. But this is creeping into my top 10.
Okay.
It's getting in there. I think it's already knocked 10 out.
Okay.
So I really, really love SETI.
All right. So my number 4 is higher on Dwayne's list, so we'll talk about that a little later in this video.
And my number 4 is higher up on Alicia's list, so we'll do the same thing. So what's your number 3?
So my number 3 is the black woman token in Wild Gardens.
Oh, the player pieces.
The player pieces.
Well, I thought this might have been your number 1. I'm gonna be honest, because in that game, the player pieces, they're big, chunky, but they show the diversity of the characters.
Okay, so
I honestly thought this was gonna be your number 1.
Well, this wasn't gonna be okay. So I specifically like that piece because she does look like me.
Yeah.
But I do like the diversity of the characters on the cards, on the guests in the garden. So I really enjoyed the representation of diversity in this game. But y'all, I'm just not so in love with myself that because she looked like me, she had to be number 1.
Well, I mean that's good to hear. Because I got enough love for you on my own.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So I don't need you over there loving yourself. But, okay. So Wild Gardens is a game where you are traveling through this park, and you are foraging different resources. You're foraging mushrooms,
different
and
plants.
ingredients, rather.
Yeah, right.
And then you're taking those ingredients and you're making food. These beautiful dishes.
You're making dishes. And sometimes you even feed a random guest in the garden.
Right. You're sitting there cooking and somebody come walking up and you like, hey, you want some of this? But the game is really, really cool. And like I said, I agree with you about the representation. I really do like the representation in this game.
Yes.
And the art is gorgeous.
The art is beautiful. Yes.
All right. So my number 3 is the Paperboy token in Flatiron.
Okay.
The wooden Paperboy token. I mean, I enjoy the wooden beepos, wooden animals or whatever, but I just really like the fact that they put that extra touch of this Paperboy holding this paper up. saying extra, extra, read all about it. You know, I really like that. So in Flatiron is a 2-player game. And I played the solo mode. I think you would really enjoy this game.
Okay.
But Flatiron is a 2-player game where we are building the famous Flatiron building in New York.
Okay.
Specifically Manhattan. I think the building is called the Fuller Building.
Okay.
Now I remember seeing this building. You know, I'm a Marvel fan. And I remember seeing this in the Spider-Man movie because I think the Daily Bugle is housed in this building.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to the Daily Bugle.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so, but I mean, you actually got the pieces and you're placing these pieces, physically building this building.
Okay.
And on your turn, you're going to move around on the different streets. There's Boardwalk, and I forgot what the name of the other streets are. And when you get there, you either buy a car from that street or you activate the Boardwalk on your player board. And you do those actions. And you're spending, you know, you're gaining money, but then you're spending money to buy pieces, and then you're adding it to the building.
Okay.
You know, and the game ends when the building is fully built, and then whoever has the most points will win. You're also getting some kind of like reputation.
Okay.
Like some things you might do, people be like, nope. And some people, some things you do, they're like, yeah.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So Flatiron is a really, really cool 2-player game.
Okay.
All right. So, what's your number 2?
Okay. So my number 2 are from the game River Valley Glassworks, and that's the gems. The gems are just so pretty.
Oh, the rocks in the
yes,
river.
the rocks in the river. I love the shapes. I love the colors. They are just so pretty to me, and they just add an elegance to an already pretty game.
Yeah. Now, caveat: we do have the deluxe version, so our pieces are glass, but in the regular version, they're just acrylic. I believe they're acrylic, but they look the same. The colors are the same, shapes are the same. So this is allowed. I'm trying to avoid deluxe components.
Okay.
But in River Valley Glassworks, you are pretty much like going out into the river, and you're gaining these stones, or let's say gems, because you said gems, but I want to say rocks.
Well,
and you
to be honest,
they look like gems to
no,
you.
gems actually are stones.
Okay.
So I'm not incorrect.
I didn't say you. Okay. Anyway, you're putting the rocks onto your board, and you're creating rows and columns on your board. Now the rows have to have different colored rocks, and the columns have to have the same colored rock. And it's not a long game. It is a thinky game, but it's not a long game.
It's not a long game.
And pretty much you're gaining points for every complete row, and you're gaining points for your 2 highest columns.
Yep.
And like I said, this game is beautiful. You know, I would tell you who the artist is, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for components. And you said that you love those components.
They are so pretty.
I agree with you. I really do like this. I love River Valley Glassworks. Okay. So, we're number 1.
Did you tell us your number 2?
Oh, my number 2. I didn't talk about my number 2. I'm sorry. My number 2 is a game we both recently played. And I really do not gravitate to miniatures, because miniatures, you know, is more like dudes on a map or a battle game or whatever. But this game is a 2-player game where one player plays as the octopus and one player plays as the shark. The game is called Kelp, Shark versus Octopus. And I am really enamored with that shark miniature because he about his business.
The detail on that shark is pretty cool.
So in Shark versus Octopus, like I said, one player plays as the octopus, and they're trying to avoid the shark, you know, and remain hidden based on these little domino-looking tiles. And they're doing on their turn. They're playing cards and they're doing a little deck building to get more powerful cards. And they're taking the tiles and they're hiding them or they're revealing them or whatever in order to do certain action
to evade the shark.
Yeah, and the shark is searching for the octopus, but he's playing like with dice. So he has a bag of dice, and he's pulling out a certain number of dice and rolling them, and then based on what dice he pulls and the pip value, he gets to do certain actions. So the blue dice he's going to put out on the board that's current, and that helps him move faster around the board. Yellow dice allows him to search for the octopus, and then the red dice
allows him to eat the
that's
octopus.
where the fight comes. You know. Now, when we first played this, I figured that Alicia would be better at the card play because playing as a shark is a little bit strategic, you know. So I said, let me do the shark. And she ended up winning our first game. And the game is already aesthetically beautiful. You know, you feel like you're playing in a nature documentary. I keep thinking I should have a British accent as I, you know, narrate my moves or something like that.
He likes nature documentaries. In case you can't tell.
I really do. But yeah, this game is aesthetically beautiful, and I really love that shark. You know, like I said, I usually don't gravitate towards miniatures, but I really like that. And I got a friend that has said they will paint that shark for me. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
All right, now let's go to the number one.
All righty. So honestly, y'all, I love two of the components in this game, but
y'all ain't gotta pick one.
But I only get to pick one.
Yep.
So the game I'm referencing is Windmill Valley.
That's my number 4.
And the component that I like is the windmills.
Those screen printed windmills.
The detail, the color, they are just so adorable.
Now, Windmill Valley, I picked Windmill Valley as my number 4, but it wasn't because of the windmill, but it was because of your action wheel.
Oh my goodness. I love that action wheel too. That action wheel looks so, I don't know, dignified.
I don't know.
It just looks so cool to me.
It is so cool. And so in Windmill Valley, you take on the role as tulip farmers. And you're taking actions on your action wheel. And you're going to move your action wheel based on the level of the dam. You know?
But see, it's 2 interlocking wheels.
Yes. And there's one side that has like 4 and the other side has 5. It might be 5 and 6. So every time you turn your action wheel, the actions you're going to be able to do are different. The thing is, you get throughout the game, you can upgrade your action wheel to where you can actually take 2 of the action, because at the beginning you can only take 1 or the other action. But there are sometimes that upgrades that allow you to be able to take both actions.
Yes.
And the actions you're taking is you're, like I said, upgrading your wheel. You are hiring people, and the people are multi-use cards, and they can either give you special abilities throughout the game or give you a way to get in-game bonus points.
Or you're planting tulips.
Yep.
Or you're
moving around the market.
Or you're erecting windmills. So there are so many things to do in this game.
Yeah, and it is a colorful game on the table.
And it is gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. So that's your number 1. Wow.
Yes. Now, just as a caveat, I always struggle a little more with ranking stuff than you do.
Oh, okay, but you were able to do it legit in this one.
Yes.
All right, so my number 1 is your number 4. When we went to PAX last year, this was the first game I was going to go get because I was enamored by the little umbrella tokens in Agua. Now, Agua is a beautiful, we got to do another travel-inspired board game list.
So, Agua is based on a real festival in a real place. Agua is a city in, is it Portugal?
Portugal, yes.
Okay.
And pretty much what you're doing, we are artists who are putting up our umbrellas. We're drafting umbrellas and we're placing our umbrellas on the streets to attract the tourists. Now, that's another thing I could have picked because the tourists, they're these little meeples that got little cameras on them.
They are so cute. They are so cute.
But we've seen that before in another game. What is it, Santa Monica?
Santa Monica.
So, but those umbrella tokens
are gorgeous.
They are so pretty.
Yes.
Bright, they're vibrant or whatever. And I mean, it makes you want to go to Agua and check out the umbrella project firsthand.
That's something we should do.
I would love to do it.
Yes, yes.
And so pretty much there's also a mural that you're placing out, that you're
creating.
So you're just contributing to this art festival by putting your beautiful umbrella tokens out over the street. And yeah, this Agua, it had to be number one, not my number one.
So the umbrellas was my number 4.
Yep. So, okay. Well, there you have it. Those are our favorite board game components
from 2024.
Now, in the comments, let us know if you have any favorite board game components in 2024. And there's some that I wanted to put on the list, but I said let's just stick with our 5. So, if you like the contents of this video, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Well, no more Twitter.
X.
No, not even that. Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
Yeah. And I'm Dwayne.
I'm Alicia.
This has been Blackboard Gaming.
We will see you next time.